My name is Sophie Bird. I grew up in Bloomington, so I was actually born in an apartment building on Walnut Street on purpose. Home birth. It's a good thing to specify. I kind of just decided I was going to be a journalist when I was 8 and stuck with it. I liked the idea of communicating with people and telling people stories, and I guess liked the traditional media depictions of what journalism was all about. I was about 16 years old and there was a copy of Bloom around, because there was always a copy of Bloom around. I remember I was flipping through the pages and there was this article that was about Lene Sawinski, who was my first supervisor when I came on staff. She had just been promoted to assistant editor. Basically just said that she had started out as an intern and then she had worked her way, to where she was and had interned all throughout college. And I was like, wow, that is fantastic to have that amount of dedication to what you're doing and to stick with something long enough that what you do makes a difference. The first thing that I ever really did with journalism was with Bloom. South offered a senior internship program, basically gave you the opportunity to reach out to a local business and have an internship there for the last couple of periods of the school day. I interned from the time I was a senior in high school until I was a junior in college. Bloom was the first time I really got to see what journalism was about, and I think that set a really high standard for me for what journalism should be about. So I kind of spent the time since then trying to compare everything to the standard of Bloom, and nothing has ever really matched up. Started out with the title of intern and then had the title editorial assistant when I was, a little bit more active and there a little more often, and I loved doing that. From the very beginning, from being exposed to that environment, it just felt like everything that I was doing there was a part of my career and was a part of something that I needed to be treating seriously and professionally. And the only reason that I chose to step away, I went to study abroad, and that was really one of my only other experiences. And it was very illuminating. It was a good experience, but it was just nothing like what I had come to expect or anticipate. I think I had the foresight or the clarity to know that Bloomington is someplace that you can always reinvent yourself. And the experience of being in Bloomington reinvents itself all the time. It remains important to me to be someplace long enough that you have the opportunity to become part of the history of that place. I think that this magazine is so important to so many people in this community for a variety of reasons, and this magazine gives voice to what our community stands for. Being able to work in journalism in a way that was meaningful like that to me was very important. It is so special knowing that what you're doing is valuable to you while you're doing it, and not having to look back on it to realize how important it is to you. And that has always been my experience with Bloom is, every day, every task, knowing that you're making something that is important to you better was my ultimate goal. And so when I was invited to come back on, first as digital media specialist, so I spent about 6 months working on website and social media stuff part-time for the magazine, and then doing some other work as well for another publication. I really jumped on that opportunity because I wanted so badly to be a part of something that was meaningful to me in that way. Every time I'm doing something for work, I'm still thinking I can't believe I get to do this always, and that this is how I get to spend my time. It feels like a hobby almost that just gets to be my job. I'm just so lucky to be surrounded by people who have allowed that transition to happen in me, who have allowed me to go from an 18-year-old high schooler to deputy editor of the magazine, and supported me through that and not hindered my growth or my progress in any way by not allowing that growth to happen. The world would be a better place if everybody got to do stuff that they love for their job all the time, and work with people that they enjoy spending time with.